Actually. 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 Actually.
It is showtime. Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Actually Ashleigh. I am so excited to finally bring this podcast to you guys. It has been in the works for so long. I'm so happy to be on episode 1. I mean, this is episode 1 of 1 million. Come on, 1 of 1 million. But since we got these voices from the background coming in, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my co-host. Because I'm going to introduce you last.
Yeah.
Because I know you think you the star of this show.
Yeah.
But you're not.
The co-star.
It's actually Ashleigh.
Well, I'm the co-star. Let's go.
First, we have, I guess, what you like to call yourself, Jerry? You a visual creator, visual director?
Man, I'm a visual storyteller.
Oh.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Jay Will.
Far too kind.
Next, we have my best friend, my ace boon coon to the moon and back, Lonnie Daggins.
Hey.
Welcome to the show, Lonnie.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited and rocking your inaugural space. Shout out Barack. I was at that inaugural.
Okay, it's
no.
actually Ashley.
I felt something when he said that.
It's actually Ashley. It ain't about Barack, but thank you for your service.
Well,
and
That's a strong comparison.
But finally not least,
Come on.
Everybody started.
my mains man,
Come on. Hit me with the dap.
my Yoda,
Oh. I'm sitting up there floating.
floating.
So he just
Everybody, welcome to the show.
He must be
Brad Dion.
Hello,
Hey, Brad
people.
Dion, how you doing?
Man, I'm excited. This has been in the works for I don't know how many years.
Too many years.
Too many years, but the too many years have passed.
And they have.
We are here today. I'm here. I would like to call myself for today's segment.
Well,
and
hold
probably
on.
going
It's
forward.
my show, so calm down.
But you said what Jerry does. I wanted to get mine.
But you said segment.
No, for today's show that I'm on,
Oh, okay.
I would like to say that I'm an architect of entertainment.
You are. Don't you have a food truck?
I do.
What's the name of that food truck?
Nacho Monsters.
Oh, yeah.
At Nacho Monsters on Instagram.
Yeah, and Nacho Monster Instagram. Okay, great. So, today's show is going to be called Actually. You can do that shit.
Uh-oh.
Because you really can.
Uh-oh.
We're going to talk about on today's show what it means to just make the jump and follow your dreams. I think as children, your parents always tell you, oh, you can do anything you want to do. Follow your dreams, follow your passion.
They don't believe it.
But as you get older, you realize, man, that shit don't work. I got bills.
Oh.
I need a job.
Job.
Niggas be out here sick.
Why black people
I need
always
insurance.
adding 2 words on stuff, though?
No,
Because it's the emphasis. Like,
Emphasis. Okay.
are you hungry or are you
Hungry.
Right.
She didn't say
right.
hungry. She hungry.
Hungry.
Lexicon actually stands for truth now.
The boy
Oh,
said
lexicon.
Hey,
You're so verbose, best
I
friend.
mean,
It's
if you don't
a
say it
T-word.
twice, it's almost not real, you know?
Oh.
Oh.
Drop them
wow.
gems.
I mean, I thought I'd start us off right in January 2020.
Oh,
Shout out
okay.
to my birthday, January 18th.
Oh,
on,
shout out that it's
education.
my birthday weekend.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
turned 32 on a Sunday.
Wow.
Amen.
The
Don't look
opposite
at day.
of 23.
Oh. All right.
Come on.
Anyway,
Come on.
so let's get into the topic, guys. So I asked all of you guys here for very different reasons. Brad, you are a ferocious dream chaser.
Man, I love it.
Okay, there you go. Ferocious. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dream
Thank you.
chaser. You are someone that,
Mhm.
operates well in instability.
Ah.
Which is a great quality to have when you. That's no
Him and
shade.
Moses,
a little
huh?
different.
It's,
Part
it's
Red
a
Sea.
great.
Who
It's
got
a
a
great.
gun? Shot fired.
See, it's a great trait to have when you chase your dreams, right? Because sometimes there isn't stability. Me, the host. Actually, I'm Ashleigh. I have just recently taken the jump.
Steve Harvey.
Right.
Come on.
I quit my job. last year.
How's that going?
Hey man, I'm working for myself.
Last year, as in like December 31st last year?
Like as
Right.
in 3 weeks ago.
Like
Oh.
24 days ago?
You out here faith walking.
Right.
Ooh.
Got out the boat.
I got crazy faith.
Crazy faith.
Shout out to
Todd.
Transformation
Come on.
Church.
Come on.
TC Nation.
Come on.
Shout out to Hope City and Mary. Shackles off my feet.
So I can dance because I just want to praise you. Anyway, that's my perspective that I want to give on today's show. We got Lonnie here. Lonnie needs to take the jump.
Oh,
It's okay. You do.
Okay.
It's fine. You're going to give us a perspective on, what is, preventing you from taking that jump. And Jerry,
I'll take that.
you're just here to be Jerry. You know what I'm saying?
taking jumps. What you
You have taken jump because you're
I
a
don't know if
successful
you-
business owner.
Yeah, you don't have a current employment like that though. You work for yourself.
I haven't had a current employment
Employer.
Let's go
in a
there.
long time.
Since 2012.
Oh, come on,
Ooh.
2012.
I
Come
put myself
on.
Yeah,
the throne.
2012.
8 years.
8 years.
Got an 8-year-old
8
baby.
years off the boat.
Off the
Off
boat.
the boat.
Off the boat.
And ain't
8
talking
years.
about no slavery boat.
Ain't talk. Hey,
Right.
look here. And ain't talking about going back.
Because we ain't going back.
Ain't going back.
So let's start with my story because it's my show.
Made it
Kinda
out
how it
called
works.
that.
Kind of how it works. So I had this vision for well, let's not get into that. Let's just say I had a conversation with God last year and I said, hey, this is what I want. This is what I want to do. I want to be in business for myself. I'm tired of working for people. I'm a person that gives my all in everything I do. And, I operate in excellence at all times. And sometimes you work in a space where they don't operate in excellence. And that can be frustrating. So I knew you gave me great advice one time. You
Hey,
said,
hey, be careful
Ashleigh,
on this advice because I still work in their space.
you said,
Yeah.
Ashleigh,
Quit these people job because they ain't nothing and they ain't never gonna be nothing.
No,
and
that's
I
not what
hate
he said.
everybody up there.
She
Dash
not ready to say
Brad.
too much, right? She not ready to say
Come
too
on.
much.
that's not what he said. He
She
said,
not ready to say they ain't
he
operating
said
She did
it'll
not say
never
that.
be right until it's your shit.
I did say
You
that.
did say that. So I knew
That was part of my frustration one day.
I knew I was like, all right, if I wanted to run the way I wanted to run, I got to do my own shit. Now, there are some, fears and some barriers because I'm like, you're going to quit your job? Like, you already living home with your mama saying you're going to be unemployed.
Oh, wow.
Like,
Wow.
you get
You
too
in the same
old for
place.
these games.
Shout out Miss Angie,
Come on, shout out my mama.
Mr. Larry.
Shout out all the mamas and aunties.
And-
Come on.
Oh, okay.
We were never trying to
I hope
leave.
she watching.
Yeah, and us too, because we were never trying to leave. Right?
Anyway, so yeah, I had to
Stay
really
home.
like work through that. So what was for me, what helped me get to the point where I needed to make the jump was all last year I had been looking for a house. Remember? I was like going look at properties, I was putting in bids and I just wasn't getting
Couldn't close
so
nothing.
couldn't close nothing.
Nothing.
Couldn't
And you
close the
got good
door if I
credit.
slipped it. And I got good credit. And I had money.
Who
Oh.
can't close a house, got good credit and money?
So then
Sound
I
like you ain't
said,
supposed to have a house.
sound like God said that ain't for you right
It
now.
ain't for you.
So the conclusion I came to basically was God was like, actually, I'm going to ask you, or you're going to, your path is to quit your job. And all this money that you saved to purchase this home, you're going to live off of because you're going to, need this money. So I set a financial goal for myself. Remember, I said, once I get to this number, I'm out this piece.
Yep.
I reached that number prior to
Being out this piece.
being out this piece. But I was like, man, Brad, I got to finish some projects with my boy. I can't just like
Yeah,
dip out
we
here.
had to close out that Lion King.
We, I almost ain't y'all.
Ah,
Some of these, tell me why.
Mama.
Anyway,
Hey.
so December 31st is my last day I work for somebody. Now, fast forward to the new year. Well, let's go back to what the conversation I had with God. It's like, I want to work for myself. I have a nonprofit. Shout out to Carter Girls. Visit that at www.cartergirls.org. We are having a fundraiser right now, 20 in 2020. All we need you to do is donate $20 so we can send 20 girls to STEM and fine art camps. Shameless plug for myself, by myself.
Because it's actually Ashley.
Because it's actually Ashley. I like
you
that.
go.
I
There you
really
go.
like that. And I said, so I wanted to work for myself. I wanted the nonprofit, and I wanted this podcast. And look, day 24, who doing it all?
Don't wanna
Working
play
for
no
yourself.
games, I want
You got the
you
nonprofit,
exclusive.
And you got the
Come on,
podcast.
24.
What's going to happen on day 26?
Hey.
Oh, well, it's my motherfucking birthday.
Life is such a crazy game.
There you go. I
You
was
know
waiting for
what?
somebody to
I
come
knew
with it.
I shouldn't have given you a mic.
come with it.
I knew I shouldn't give you a mic. Anyway, so that's my story. So taking the jump was difficult, but on the other side of the jump is it's a really peaceful, it's a really happy place. You know, I was watching
It sounds like you sleeping when I call you early in the morning.
And it
I
also
do be
sound-
sleep
I
early
think
in the
that's why you're
morning.
peaceful.
I get a lot of rest. You know, I'm an avid napper. So,
Nap.
avid napper. So, one of my favorite people to follow on Instagram is Will Smith, and Will Smith said that your biggest blessings or your biggest triumphs are behind on the other side of fear. So for me, it was like overcoming the fear of not being in control. Because if I was at a job where I was getting paid on the 1st and the 15th, like I could be in control and control my life in some aspect. But now being an independent contractor, Jerry, you know, sometimes you get your money and sometimes you don't. So, but I'm glad I took the jump. I'm happy in this space. I'm really happy to be doing all the things I told God I wanted to do last year. And it's kind of not that I needed a faith renewal, but it definitely does something for your faith to see God do for you what you asked him to do for you. So let's take it to you,
So
Brad.
you big believing.
Oh, I'm big believing.
Oh, big believing. That's my slogan for the 2020.
Big believing?
Big believing, bro.
Hashtag big believing.
Bro, big believing. I am excited about that right now. Seriously, in a great way. Listen.
So
now,
let's talk about
yeah, because you got to give me a space to talk.
right, because I don't want you
could
to jump
go
out the window.
all over.
And I'm
So
over here with hashtag living scared.
Yeah.
That's what big believing sounds like to me.
Living scared.
maybe
we're gonna get to that.
Maybe
Come
we're gonna get
on,
to that.
let's go.
So let's talk about
Moving scared. Sorry.
let's
Yeah.
talk about so you are somebody that always takes the jump. You are an entrepreneur at heart.
Yeah.
You believe in working for yourself. You
Yeah.
believe in going after your dreams. So for the viewers that we have out there, can you speak to what drives you to work in that space as opposed to not wanting to be an employee?
Well, man, I can answer this in two different ways. I think I'll take both.
Okay.
And so first was I just had this overwhelming drive to work for myself. One day my mom revealed to me that her prayer was that her children, even if they had a job, that they would have their own business. And when she said that, I was like, it was you who cursed me, Joyce. Because
Shout out to Miss Joyce.
shout out to Miss Joyce.
Who's on the Carter Girls board.
Best
Donate
on the Carter Girls board.
CarterGirls.org.
Best mom in the
20
world,
2020.
especially to me. So stepmoms can't compete. I ain't got nothing though anyway. So
I have
anyway,
an awesome stepmom.
I said Joyce. I said my stepmom, not your stepmom.
Oh, okay. I'm just
Okay,
saying.
so that was the first thing. The second thing, if I can encapsulate it in one way, Ronnie, was that the right word?
That was.
Thank you. Okay, so if I could break it down or explain it in one way. So one day I was sitting at work. I got to put my hands down. I'm ashy, they say. So one day when I was sitting at work.
They say correctly.
Okay. One day when I was sitting at work, my supervisor had her grandchild, who was probably 3 years old, there for the day.
Oh, I heard this story before. Good job. Keep going.
She spun her grandchild around in the chair, and with glee, she smiled. And she said, one day, this will all be yours. Now, I looked at her grandchild, and I said, I bet that baby is smart, but I guarantee she is not smarter than me. And
Well, I mean,
if-
she's a kid.
As of today.
But hey, listen, if I can't work for somebody who 3 right now. You see what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So what I realized in that moment, and not to my supervisors, I'm not saying that this was bad on my supervisor's part, but she was working on building a legacy for her family. She was building something for her kid to take over. So I had to say to myself, Brad, or in essence, what I say to myself in all things is, Brad, what are you leaving to your children? I think that God has given us the opportunity through, civil rights, as far as what we've been able to do, what our ancestors were able to do, give us the opportunity to build things. And at this point, if you do not own something, if you do not control something, if you don't dictate whether you live, whether you die, whether you can go see your kid at graduation, whether you can eat or not eat, then what are you really doing? And at the end of the day, what are you leaving behind? Because the Bible says leave a legacy to your children's children. Come on with the word of God.
You
right?
know.
That's what the Bible says. And if legacy can be left in different ways, you can leave character traits, you can leave a lot of different things. But as far as me, I'm driven, one, by leaving a legacy for my children, right? And then number two, outside of, once I grew past the point of material gain, I'm driven now by purpose. So God has revealed my purpose, what I feel like I was sent down here to do on the planet Earth. God has revealed that to me. So now I'm pushing towards that purpose. I'm pushing towards that mark.
So let me ask you this, and we're gonna get to you next, Lonnie. And I don't have a choice. Okay, I I'm with you on the leaving the legacy behind. I just, matter of fact, I think it was today or yesterday, I saw a thing on Instagram that said you cannot leave your child, like you can't leave them a job.
You can't leave them your paycheck.
Right. No. I mean, if you got enough paychecks, you leave paychecks, but you can't
But
leave them
you
a
feel me,
job.
though.
So you want to leave
Yeah.
them legacy. I'm really big on legacy.
Mhm.
Carter, I mean, I obviously was excited about the podcast, but Carter Girls is really my passion project, and it's awesome when you can match, merge your passions into a project, and it can be a legacy you leave behind. Now, granted, I'm not gonna leave behind this legacy to no kids that don't want it. If you have your own, desires, then you're gonna do that.
Yeah,
but anyway,
yeah,
what do you
absolutely.
say? Because we're gonna stay on topic. Actually, you can do that shit. There are a lot of people that have these dreams, these aspirations, these goals. But what do you say to them when they are standing in front of their fear? They're standing in front of, I can't do this, or this doesn't make sense. I mean, for me, it was all about
I got it.
relinquishing my own will for God's will. But I realized that may not be everyone's path.
When someone says that they can't do something, I got to get spiritual because that's where I come from. And
Well,
this
Jesus is
natural.
welcome in this space.
Okay, and this is also a natural thing, right? So when people say that they can't do something, the first thing that I think is you have everything you need. So all of the projects that I've done, all the businesses that I've started, all of the hustles that I had, first thing I had, the one thing that I didn't have that everybody says they don't have is money. I would never have money, right? So God gives you these ideas, whoever you believe in, you get these, well, God gives you these ideas, gives you these visions, you go out there and execute them, and then what I believe is if you start running, the ground will rise to meet you. So if you look at the planet Earth, the human body, everything is an ecosystem, right? God put the planet Earth into place. The sun gonna shine, the rain is gonna rain, the plant's gonna grow, they're gonna give us oxygen. Your body, it's a system. If you cut yourself, it has everything inside of it to heal itself, to keep itself going. We don't have batteries, we don't have none of that stuff. So what I'm saying is if you got a passion, you got a purpose, you got a vision, you got something that you can see, right, in your mind, then you have everything that you need in order to do it.
All right, cool. So let's give a different perspective. So, we've covered, my recent jump. We've covered that, Brad is a jumper. You're a jumper.
I'm jumping. I just slowed down on my
I'm a
jumping, though.
businessman.
I just slowed down on my jumping.
Oh, we're going to start with the Jay-Z quotes because, I can go.
We can go.
You're a jumper. But, Lonnie, you're an aspiring writer, right?
Come on.
In many ways.
Come on,
You want to
Stephen King?
write... No. You want to
Tyler
write...
Perry? Yeah. Are you writing them graphic novels, Lonnie?
No,
I don't know
Lonnie's
that lady
not
name.
writing Zane books, okay?
Come on, Zane.
He's a comedic writer. And,
My Lord.
years ago, you had this plan to move to L.A. To do these big things. Now, it's no shade, no nothing. We move at our own pace.
Transparency.
Right, and I'm on the transparency, like, what would you say is holding you back from doing what you want to do?
First of all, I did not know that I was going to be here as the example of
Not jumping.
of before, the before and after picture. And they were like, here's the fat ass and here's the skinny ass. I didn't realize that I was a fat ass model here today.
Oh, man. Come on,
Hopefully I
Lonnie.
also think
Come
that I
on.
just wrote my comedy speech as well a little bit. However y'all can have that.
You see, that boy good. That boy
You
good.
see how I wrapped that in there and told y'all to go kiss my ass at the same time?
I'm just saying, I need your perspective because there are people who are on both sides. You have people that are always jumpers. You have
Right.
people that have recently taken the jump. You have
Yes.
people that want to jump, but they have fears.
I'm not
There's
a
some
jumper.
You're not a jumper.
I'm not
Okay.
a jumper.
Break
Okay.
that down.
Break that down. Okay, so honestly, I take into consideration other people's ideas of me, which, I understand I need to leave that in 2019. But for a long time, that was somewhat my MO of I want to make sure that I'm doing what my mom says, I'm doing what everyone else says, I'm following this quote unquote path of this is how you get there, the quote unquote there. So I have always my sister is very smart, got all good grades, did all the things she was supposed to do, and I feel like
Shout out to Faith.
Shout out to Faith. Her name is Faith, so even
Gotta
better,
have
right?
faith.
So it's like with her in front of me, and I realized that I had started making some mistakes. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do what she did, which is just plant yourself understand one industry, grow, save your money, and I almost felt like I needed to play it safe.
So let me stop you right there. So when I had decided I was going to quit my job, I was really nervous. Remember I told you I was really nervous about telling my mom. Because I'm like, how do I explain this to her? Because it doesn't make sense.
And black women don't want you to not have a job for more than 10 minutes.
Black
Shout out to Miss
people-
Angie.
Shout out to my mama.
Shout out to Dana. Hey, Dana. I see you.
Oh, Dane, we see you. She said she's so proud of me. I'm proud of me too. Thanks. Also, my cousin, what's up, Derek?
So Uncle
Ayana
Myron.
from the Bay Area.
Bay Area.
Come on, we trans-coastal around here.
Transcoastal.
Trans-coastal.
Oh, wow.
We ain't gonna go there. Listen.
Transcoastal.
So I was like, how do I explain this to my mom? Because it doesn't make sense on paper. And I realized, and we talk about this all the time, about like how your parents will give you advice and how there's a generational break. Because our parents, or maybe even our grandparents, because my grandma was not about this quit your job life.
Not even parents, people.
People,
don't
they
see the
think
vision.
that they're that the formula is go to school, get a job, stay at that job, save your money, and then you retire. But that's not, and if that's what you're doing,
That's
and you're
a formula
happy
for
with
some
that,
people.
right, exactly, that's formula for some people. That's not the formula for me. And when you're trying to fit into that space, but you're not supposed to be in that space, it gets really, really uncomfortable, and it's just,
I look at it like
all bad.
sometimes you got to be a fish. If you're meant to be in the water, you just got to get in the water, right?
Right.
If you're meant to be a tree, you got to get in the dirt. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I need one more, but I can't think of one. Somebody was supposed to come back on the third one.
I mean, it's
With all
probably
these
They
powers
left me out
combined,
there.
I am Captain Planet.
Captain Planet.
Uh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Gonna take pollution
but I
down
think
to
that
zero.
I think that I feel you, right? I think that what happens is, of course, if you try to fit into the box, right, people can't see the vision, number one. Then number two, I think that family members, they can be the most dangerous people for you when you're trying to hatch an idea, trying to hatch a vision. And the reason why is because they don't want to see you harmed. They come from a place of experience. They don't want to see you. They've seen people quit their jobs and go broke.
Right.
They've seen people do all these different things. So I think that that's why they try to be more protective.
I think we saw something on Facebook that said black women kind of set their boys up to go to jail because they're so cautious.
Well, I'm a black woman with a man child, and
He's a
are
little
so
boy.
cautious and to
He's a cute
try to
one, though.
keep this young black boy safe. You kind of coddle him and kind of ride him into a job like that. Like, you need to be safe. You don't need to be on the streets. You don't, and then you kind of try to keep him.
The views of
inside.
Lonnie
So-
in no way correspond to
Absolutely.
Brad. You know what I'm saying?
So
There's a lot of views.
I think
That's not how my mother was.
Okay,
but I read
I
something.
just want to step aside from that one.
You
No,
sent
no,
it to me. Ashley sent it to me.
I-
That's what made me think
I
of
I
it.
feel you.
I'm
I
messing
feel
with
you.
you. I'm
I
messing with
think
you.
that
Finish.
millennials that have children, younger people that have children, do you fit in the millennial category? Are you a millennial?
I'm like right at the tip of that thing.
Oh, okay.
We the old
I
millennials.
think
We the
that,
old millennials. We the ones. We the best
we the
of them.
start.
We the best of them, bro.
Yeah.
We believe you got to work hard and you still should be
Still-
rich.
thank you.
Y'all just believe you should be rich.
rich.
First of all,
see what I'm saying?
you, me, Lonnie, and Jerry, I don't know. You still,
Oh,
you an 80s baby?
Oh,
Oh,
y'all
okay.
80s baby.
Shout out to 80s.
Yeah, come on.
Anyway,
What's she doing
I
in
think-
here?
well, I mean,
You
you
put
just
you
had
in
a,
the
you just,
70s.
no, you
It's
just
different
had a
being an
birthday.
80s baby
That's
and
cool,
an
though.
80s
Let's
baby.
continue.
Well, it's
You just
different.
had a
than-
birthday, so I know. I think that this generation of parents are really, like you were speaking to earlier, are really teaching their kids ownership and how to work for
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
Aiden gets really excited to tell people, my mom doesn't go to work. Like,
Oh, wow.
she works for herself. Like, that excites him. Or
I mean, you got to keep working for yourself.
no, I do. Or like, I have
on.
a cousin. I don't know if he's watching. My cousin Zachary. He has he has a basketball academy. Shout out Houston Basketball Academy.
Houston basketball summer camps coming.
Dribble.
Okay, dribble.
And
And
dunk.
Zachary was talking about his business, and Aiden just comes and he's like, "Oh, well, my mom helps people with their businesses." I'm like, he gets it. So I don't
Sound like
think-
that's the new stunt. That's the new bragging.
Send your kid to do it.
My daddy is a doctor, but my mom
I
got her
mean,
own business.
I'm just saying, your dad saves lives, but I mean,
You
save
just
businesses. Anyway,
I build dreams.
I think or I help people see their dream, because a lot of times people have an idea, but they can't put the plan
Bring it to
together. They
fruition.
can't. They can't execute. Some people dream but can't execute. So, but anyway, I think that this generation of parents are not giving those same lessons to their children to strive to be an employee. Again, not that there's anything wrong with being an employee, but if that's not your space, that's not your space. You know, you gotta find your space that you want to, be in. So anyway, we got to you about, why you're,
Scared to jump.
Scared to jump. So let me ask you this. Lonnie Deggins, you hot? You nervous?
It's warm in here.
It
right?
is warm
the
in
Jameson
here.
is kicking
It
in.
was probably the whiskey.
Okay.
It
Probably
probably
the
was the
lights.
whiskey they've been
Here
drinking.
I go wiping my forehead.
The whiskey good though.
The whiskey is good.
I'm running out.
You okay? It's no more.
Your tap is closed.
I would like to also say this since we coming back to me. So with the not jumping,
Okay.
I think that yes, for a while I felt like I did not want to jump or I wanted to play it safe and kind of shore myself up a little bit before I made a decision because I've been in one job industry and left that job industry somewhat on top and then had to start a new job industry and somewhat started
Did
back
you
at the
really
bottom.
leave that industry on top?
I left higher than you did.
You did.
If we clowning.
Since you were a
Since we
clown.
clowning. But so to leave that industry, start again at the bottom of another industry, I never want to do that again. So it does kind of put you in the mindset of, okay, what do I really want to do? So I think it's also age a little bit where you start feeling like, okay, either I need to pick what I want or get out the way. And you also start to align yourself with people. And that was the number one thing that I would say I was missing at 21 because I probably had these same feelings and ideas and ready to jump and wanting to be artistic and live in my own space. But if you're around people and you kind of see them falling off of the boat on the regular boat, you're like, oh, I'm really going to make sure that I take care of self.
So let me ask you this. What would you have to see, witness, or what would have to happen in your life for you to be comfortable with making the jump?
I think I'm there now because I am now around people. And I also don't feel like it necessarily has to be a jump because I feel like when, black girls start to go natural and they're like, I'm not cutting all my hair off. I'm just going to let the natural kind of go and then slowly edge it up.
Well,
Like,
I'm
you
team
can
Big
do-
Chop, but no judgment.
Well, see, everybody's not team Big Chop, and I feel like I'm definitely not. I'm definitely hedging my bets. I'm definitely trying to calculate my way there. I know that it's at some point it's gonna be a jump. It's gonna be, but I want my jump to be from one
Of
boat
course
that's
you can
moving
say
to the
something,
next
right.
boat that's moving,
Right.
and. It's like how much do you digress to jump forward? How much do you?
I mean,
slingshot
I feel
back
you
a little
because
bit?
I had that same thing. Like, I had to reach a certain savings amount. Like, I had to reach a certain amount of money in my savings before I quit. I was very sure I was going to quit. I was saving aggressively because my desire to quit.
Let
was
me
real.
say this. I think that I've had to balance with age and experience. I've had to balance to where I can be more like not as aggressive as I was in my youth with jumps. And Jared can make a testament to this. I would jump immediately. I don't need no money if my bills $3,000, $4,000 this month. We just got to make $3,000, $4,000 because the day we start. But I was looking at something today. I have a leadership coach to try to help me with some of the problems that I have. And one of the things that I saw in her notes was develop a contingency plan for the food truck. And this speaks to with hedging the bets. And when I read that, the first thing I thought to myself was like, yeah, I could come up with some BS for her, right? I said, but ain't no contingency plan. Plan B is plan A. Like, bro, that's
It
it.
gotta work.
But
You're
see,
almost
some
setting
people
yourself
strive.
up to
That's
fail
it.
if
Some
you don't
people-
put it all
No,
in
but
one
see,
basket.
this is the thing. There's a guy, his name, I think it's Andrew Carnegie said this. Andrew Carnegie said that most
Oh,
people.
he's a robber baron.
He's a robber baron, but he got rich. You
Well,
know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
all the robber barons are
We got to
rich.
add 3 to his. He not just rich with the black emphasis. He rich. So what I was going to say was Andrew Carnegie said that he said most people say that you should I think it was Andrew Carnegie, it's one of the really rich ones. Most people say that you should put your eggs in multiple baskets. He said, but I think it's actually putting your eggs in multiple baskets that causes people to fail. By putting your eggs in one basket, you watch that basket more intently and you're more focused on that basket. And what I've found by being a person over the years, and I think that's hindered my entrepreneurial ability, by hedging my bets, I didn't hedge it with jobs, I hedged it with different businesses. By hedging my bets and going those different routes, it made me less successful. It spreaded me too thin. But when I decided to say, okay, look, I'm going to dive in on this. I'm going to create more depth in this. And it's just something about that spirit when you align your mind, because the Bible says as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. It's something about
I
your
love
spirit.
that we just really come back to the word every time. But y'all know I told y'all like I feel like I could find a sermon in almost everything. I don't mean to cut you
You
off.
did though.
I did.
Come on.
I didn't mean to.
But it's your show. It's actually Ashleigh.
Come
You
on, Ashleigh,
You cut off
Ashleigh.
anybody.
Okay. Anyway,
Come on, Daniel's son.
I was going to ask you because he said putting your eggs in one basket. You are not all eggs in one basket type person. You are a multiple project type Negro.
I am. But I'm gonna tell you why
making
though.
omelets, you picking eggs.
But I'm gonna tell you why. But
chickens.
I finally aligned the multiple projects with one centralized purpose.
Bam.
Right.
It used to be I ain't have no purpose. I'm just out here sprinkling seeds.
Right.
Now I ain't got multiple babies out here in these streets. I am
okay.
aligned.
You are no longer a business baby daddy.
I feel like you're a
wow.
son, and you.
I don't know what to say to that.
Kind of.
Son, S-U-N. Sorry, you
S-U-N.
said baby daddy, and I thought you was talking about son,
I was
S-O-N.
rolling with it.
I don't have it
Right.
all. I don't have it all together by any means
Amen to the
necessary.
truth.
Just like every
But
other baby
what
daddy.
I am saying,
Just
is
like mine.
when it comes down to it's gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
It might potentially not work, so I want to do this versus this gonna potentially work. You have to be on the side of the ball that says this has to work.
That's a great point. Because sometimes you have an idea in your head, like this is what I want to do, and that idea just never pans out. It just, people are slow to pivot away from what they thought was the idea rather than to go with what's actually working for them, right? So I hate to keep coming back to you, but you're the perfect person for this,
I'm out here on that entrepreneurial
this
dope.
topic because
And I want to read Dana's comment that says, "Lonnie, Capricorn thrive is the word on stability."
Yes. You better correct Dane Dane
I do
via the
feel
internet.
right? But I do feel like I
Stable
really
entrepreneurship,
like
though.
to be able to.
But that is
have
a
stability.
But this the
right.
catch,
But
though.
in order
This the
to
catch.
be an entrepreneur, you
Can't be
cannot
stable.
stable.
Can't be
I mean,
stable.
I've only been an entrepreneur for 24 days. Let me
Ain't
tell
no
you,
stability.
ain't no stability
Ain't no
over here. We
stability.
is a
Ain't no
wobbly.
stability.
Right.
We wobbly.
Right. So
And you
Uh,
gotta
More
live in
often than not, you're gonna end up on somebody's couch. You're gonna end up in your car. That's just the pain.
I mean, but you know what? That's what happened
She at
to-
home with her mama, and that's a beautiful thing.
Do not dismiss the fact that my mama
That's
will
not
put me
dismissive,
out.
'cause I planned on
No,
staying.
she'll put me out though.
You better ask me. I
Let me-
planned on staying
let
on
me
my
not-
80
let me
couch
not
until
pay
I
no
got
bills.
married or died.
What?
Until she put me out.
Okay, but listen,
You
those
know
are
what
the
I mean?
realities. So
So-
when I was talking to you about like actually going after your dreams, we talked about like Tyler Perry. Now, people got mixed feelings about Tyler Perry. I don't know why they do that to that man. Like they got their
I
own
like-
studio,
I like
directing,
Tyler Perry.
producing and writing their
Me
own
too.
movies. But
If it's
we
his- if
talked
it's his
about
studio, he can do whatever he
how
want.
he transitioned from he knew this is what he wanted to do. And in the beginning, he was broke. He was maxing out his credit cards. He was living out of his car to transitioning into having his own movie studio, and what people don't like to go through the
Bet on
journey.
They don't want it.
Well, no, people will bet on themselves, but
Yeah.
they don't like the journey. They don't like that. In order for me, they don't like to concentrate on the fact that there were struggles before the
Decrease to
studio.
increase.
You ain't
Right.
willing to die for it.
Bro,
Right?
let's-
Are you
okay.
willing to
Let's-
die for it?
let's-
Are you
willing to
willing
die
to
for
not
it.
eat for
Are
it?
you willing to
let's
not eat
talk
for it?
though.
And for me,
You
I
know.
got to that point where I
Yeah,
was
how
like,
did you
thi-
feel? What did you feel? Because I feel like
I just felt like this wasn't my lane. It wasn't my space. I got uncomfortable. I got irritated easily. Like
irritated
this
with
is
your coworkers, irritated with the
irritated
work,
with myself.
She only had one real coworker. That was me.
and
That's
I,
true.
and
You
I was
feeling like a
irritated with him.
robot.
I was irritated. No, I was irritated with myself because I'm like, you are so beyond this. Like this space
You
is
see
not
more
for
for
you, right? It's not even that I see more for myself. It was that I was designed to be more.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Who told you that?
the Lord God.
Hey man, I was made to be great.
Right. I was designed for more. And like you were saying in
A
your
lot of people
example
can't deal with
about
that,
how the earth will rise up to you, the Bible says that your gifts will make room for you,
Make
right?
room.
So I knew that God doesn't toy with us about like these thoughts in our mind, right? And my pastor always says that God never gives you an assignment without assistance. You know what I'm saying? And he'll provide or give you the provisions that you need to make these things happen. So really all you have to do is make that initial jump. All you got to do is take step one.
Do
and
your
when I
part.
took step one, things started falling into place. Things that I didn't think were going to happen were happening. Things that I thought were out of my reach became tangible. So
You have to let go
you
of your
you have to
desire.
let go. For me, my biggest thing was I had to always be in control, like you were talking about. I have to know the plan. I got to know what we doing from A to Z. But that's working within
Who
your
all over there?
right. Who all up? No, what time is over?
What time you plan on getting in?
Yeah.
You have if you want to see God's plan for you come to fruition, you gotta release that to Him. You have to.
And
There's
let him
no
drive.
way that you can be in control
And
of
he
the
be in
show
control.
and He been show, or it's no way that you can get God's results by doing your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
Well,
my
okay.
piece.
She brought it back to
So
faith.
Right.
We're gonna talk on this for about 5 more minutes because we're gonna need to wrap up the show.
What if
So
you
go ahead.
aren't so super strong or sold out to one idea of yourself? Like how you said, Lonnie, you are a great comedic writer. Like, I don't know if that would have been the first thing out of my bag that I said I am, even though I think maybe I have a lot of different great traits.
I think that happens with what you said earlier about aligning yourself with the right people. Because, go back to Brad, when we first met, I was not in this space. I was on some, I want to have another profession. This is what I want to do. And it really took Brad, aligning with Brad to get me back into this space that I should have done a long time ago. Long story short, went to college. Wanted to be a communications major. Could have well been Jamel Hill. Shout out to Jamel Hill. I love her.
Shout out.
But I allow people around me to talk me out of this major. Actually, there's no future in communications. You're not going to make any money. Like, what are you going to do? And I wanted to be a sports anchor on ESPN. And when I was in college, Jamel Hill was not on ESPN. So there wasn't someone, representing what I wanted, what I wanted to be. So here I am, found myself in the college of business, struggling, failing, and then I leave Lamar. 10 years later, I go back to school to go back to the College of Communications where I should have always
Won't
been.
God bring you right back to where
He will.
started you
I
at?
mean, and if you are in your way, it'll take you longer to get back to
There
where you're
you
supposed
go.
to be because not to get back to the Bible, but when
We never
when
left the Bible.
Moses, we never left because we never leave the Lord. When Moses took the people of Israel, the promised land was not far away. But because they was talking about, back when we were slaves and we want this and we want that and complaining because God hates a complainer, they prolonged their journey. So it's like, get out of your own way. I let Ashleigh be Ashleigh's block. So it took all that time for me to circle back to what it really was, for me to get back into my space.
Can I submit though that one of my friends gave me this one time, and he said, "Brad, you can't be afraid to give. You have to die who you. You can't be afraid to give up who you are in order to become what you want to become."
Right.
And one of the things that Lonnie said that just jumped out to me was he said the thing about all these things that he is great at, right? And one of the things I would say, I was reading this book. I read a lot. I like reading books. But I was reading this book, and one of the things, this is actually Miles Monroe, I believe. The decision is not between most people know the decision between right and wrong, good and bad. That's not the decision. That's the hard decision to make. The decision is between what can you be good at and what can you be great at. And what I would say is, most people can be good at a lot of things. You use the word great, and most people will use the word great because you got, think highly of yourselves. Most people can only be great truly at a very few things. So me being a person, I'm good at a lot of things, and those things will cause me to have this squirrel type of tendency, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. I'm running all these different places. And what I had to realize, and my wife kind of taught me this.
Shout out to Don Shika, the Don Dada.
And what I had to realize was, Brad, just because you can do something, the discipline is you don't have to do that. So there is something inside of everybody that they really can be great at, right? And it's just a matter of applying yourself to that thing and saying, okay, I'm going to be great at this. Yeah, I can do a lot of stuff. Like right now, bro, I'm trying to be great at one thing really, right? And most of the people in this room know what that thing is. But
dreadlock maintenance.
Yeah, I'm not great at dreadlock maintenance, bro. I'm horrible with that. But I don't even like it. That dry hot. But hot. I wasn't raised on that.
Daddy, hot.
I wasn't raised on that, babe. But There's one thing that I'm trying to be great at, but no matter what, bro, I have constant distractions trying to stop me to say, hey, Brad, bro, you can do this. You're really good at that. You can do that. No, I'm trying to be great now. I'm trying to be impactful. You know what I'm saying? And once you figure out what you want to do and what you're trying to be great at, it makes those decisions easier to make. The yeses, the nos, the what should I do, the what shouldn't I do, da. So, and I'll add one last thing if I can.
Okay, please, one last thing.
Because I'm acting like you acted on the first podcast you was on.
Oh, shame, but then I got my own.
Then you
I
got
see it and I want it. Hey.
Go on, Beyonce. Okay, we not gonna start this episode. I was gonna say I lost my thought, bro.
All right. So on
done.
that note, let's bring
done.
it back to the title. I hope that we did not get too fluid in the conversation, because the point of this episode is really
Nah, we
to
really
remind.
followed our cue sheet.
I did, because I gave a cue sheet because I'm all about structure. I hope that people will leave this episode
Can I
knowing.
edit that cough out?
No, we live, bro.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes you gotta cough. Science. I hope that.
Down Main Street. Go ahead.
Shout out to Miss Frizzle.
Magic School Bus.
I hope people who are watching now, who will listen later, will get what they need from this episode. If you are a person that is struggling with making that jump, like the title says, actually you can do that shit. You just really have to believe that you can do it. And it also is, you have to get to a place where you want to do it. You can't jump and not want to do it, because then you're not going to put your all into it. So, what? Anyway.
It felt like a rap song.
You can do it.
Push back into it.
Yeah.
You heard it.
My last name is Carter, so it's in me. You feel me? Yeah. Anyway, we close every episode with our closing segment. It is the last shot.
This show.
My turn.
It's go time.
So we have.
Where you put my Pringles cup at?
I don't know why
you
this
drinking
man
out
is
of a
drinking out of
Pringles
Y'all know I like to repurpose things.
Pringles cup. Give me a glass.
See.
But you had a glass.
A whole glass.
Is there
Whole glass.
one somewhere?
Yeah, I brought 4.
Oh, okay.
Like he gave you a glass. The producer of the show had the glass.
Where
Wait,
is the glass? Is it here somewhere?
you poured yours
He left
out
it
of
on
the
the
glass.
I guess you won't be.
I guess I will.
This is just ghetto.
I had a
It's
little
just
Sprite in
different.
mine.
You gotta have somebody in
Yeah.
the episode.
You
Right.
gotta have somebody.
Y'all know
in
what's
on
that show with
episode.
Ricky Smiley? The one with Ricky,
Ricky
Smiley?
Smiley show?
No, not the Ricky Smiley. The
Oh,
one,
speaking of Ricky Smiley, shout out to my other best friend,
Dish
Greg.
Nation.
Dish Nation. Dish
Hey,
Nation.
Greg.
Hey, Greg.
Love you, brother.
So anyway, we end every episode
To
with
all the
the
noobs.
last shot, and basically the last shot is
Greg.
just Jerry's sum up of the of this episode.
Well, you paying attention?
Right.
I
He
paid
was there.
attention enough.
Okay, come on.
Okay, so let's get into to the last shot. Go ahead, Jerry.
So the last shot is gonna be do that shit. No matter
Okay.
what it is, jump off the boat, sink or swim. End of the day, what the fuck you got to lose?
Oh wow. Oh, wow.
Revelations
to
3 and 3.
Hey,
Oh no,
It's
I do
somewhere in
not
there.
subscribe to that. That
what
is
the
not
fuck you
in the
gotta
book.
lose? Because at the end of the day, comes down to, are you willing to sacrifice today for tomorrow?
Ooh, you
Come
gonna
on,
gonna
drop the
sacrifice today for
gems, Jay
tomorrow, or
Will.
you not?
You brought it home.
If you are, you gonna jump, and if you're not, then hey, stay where you at. You know what I'm saying? Build them other people's dream. But we gonna get this last
Ooh,
shot.
that was it for me. All right.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you got to
good.
decrease the increase.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the first episode of Actually Ashleigh.
That's my best friend.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Brad, Lonnie, Jerry,
Everybody on
Honey in the corner.
And honey in the
Repping
corner.
LU.
Honey in the
LU.
corner.
Again,
ain't
thanks
taking
guys.
shot.
We are will be here on time next week for our second episode, where we are going to talk about co-parenting. So if you have a baby daddy, a baby mama, if you are a baby daddy or a baby mama, you need a little advice.
I can speak from a judgmental space.
Absolutely.
Boy, you've been married longer than everybody in this
That's
room.
why
been
I'm gonna be
alive.
the judgmental guy.
Anyway, I don't know who's gonna be on the show next week. You might turn on your screen and it might
if
be
you
my
vote,
own baby daddy.
Vote for us.
We're gonna need security. But
fine.
thank you
Doesn't
guys.
he work security?
You know
2
what?
for 1.
Not for the play.
Bad boys.
Ignorant.
Which was pretty good, too.
It was.
Anyway, thank you guys
Thank you
for
guys.
thank you guys for tuning in. I'm really excited. Thanks. And we will see you guys next week.
Actually,
On the
Ashley.
next one.
Ashley.